Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. SSET Englishtown.
Hello and welcome to another video from SSET. Today we are doing our Monday, Wednesday, Friday 2:30 p.m. class, and it is 1A reading. So you will need your workbook, and you will also need the reading book, and I mean it Stanley. And today we are doing pages 70, 71 and 72. Now page 70 is homework from the last episode, so we will check homework first and then we will do pages 71 and 72. So make sure you have your two books before you start. Alright, so let's start. Now we will check homework first on page 71. Page 71. So open your workbook to page 71. Now what you had to do was fill in the missing words. So this is your homework here. You had to fill in the missing words. So let's have a look at number one. Number one is the very, this is number one and two. So the very something thing, the very something thing I something made, the very something thing I made, the very best thing I made. So the very best thing I ever made. So the best thing I ever made. I will just come down a little bit. 1, 2, best thing. So the best thing I ever made. That's number 1 and 2 up the top. All right, number 2. Something Stanley, I know you are there. Now all these words are from the book. All the vocabulary words are from the book. So what is number 3? Something Stanley, I know you are there. Listen Stanley, I know you are there. Make sure you start with a capital. Listen Stanley, I know you are there. Number 4, I can play something Stanley. I can play by myself Stanley. I can play by myself. Now what does this mean? I can play by myself. I can play alone, just me. All right. Make sure you write the answers in the spaces in the sentences. All right, number 5. You something me Stanley. You something me Stanley. You hear me Stanley. Hear. Excuse me. Now, you hear me Stanley. You hear me. All right, number 6. Stanley. Something Stanley. This is at the end of the book. So this is Stanley. Aw, Stanley. Aw. Aw, Stanley. Now make sure you start with a capital because it is the beginning of the sentence. Number 7. Don't you look. Don't even peek. Peek. Don't you look. Don't even peek. Now do you remember what peek means? If you have a look in your vocabulary, peek means to look very quickly without anybody seeing you look. All right, so to look very quickly, to peek. All right, I'm just going to rub the first few off. So we can do number 8. All right, number 8. Number 8 is, I know you are in back of the fence. In back of. In back of. I know you are in back of the fence. What does this mean? In back of. It means behind. I know you are behind the fence. Number 9. But I don't care, Stanley. I don't want to play with you. So it is, but I don't care. I don't care, Stanley. I don't care, Stanley. I don't want to play with you. All right, last one, number 10 is, this thing I am making is really neat, really neat. This thing I am making is really neat. Now, do you remember what neat means? This means good. So she says, this thing I am making is really neat. It's really good, really good. All right, make sure you write your answers before we go on to page 71. All right, so let's go on to page 71. Now, we have to read, up here it says read the book, pages 22 until the end of the book, page 32. So make sure you have your book, and I mean it, Stanley. And let's read the book from page 22. Page 22 is this one here, page 22. All right, let's start. This thing I am making is really neat. It is really neat, Stanley. Next page. And it is all made now. Page 26. The very best thing I ever made. There's a picture of what she made. It's like a monster. It has some gloves here, which are the ears. She has a fan, the fan. This is a face, and you can see the fan has two eyes. So she's using the hole in the fan as eyes. It has a hat, and look at the shoes down the bottom here. And it has a mop here, which looks like a bit of hair. The sock looks like a tongue. All right, so let's turn the page, page 28. But don't you look, Stanley. I don't want you to see it. And I mean it. Next page. Stanley. So Stanley comes crashing through the fence and crashes into the thing that she made. And the last page. Aw, Stanley. Aw, Stanley. All right, now that we've read the book, let's answer some questions on page 71. Question number 1. Do you think she likes what she is making? Do you think she likes this big thing that she is making? And then we have to say why. All right, let's have a look. If you have a look on page 26, she says, the girl says, the very best thing I ever made. The very best thing I ever made. So question number 1. Do you think she likes what she is making? Why? Yes, she likes what she is making. She said it was the best thing she ever made. So question number 1. Yes, because she said it was the best thing she ever made. All right, so question number 1. Do you think the girl likes what she is making? Yes, because she said it was the best thing she ever made. All right, question number 1. Question number 2. On pages 24 and 25, how does she tell Stanley that she is finished? What does she say to Stanley? So open your book, page 24 and 25. How does she tell Stanley that she's finished making her thing? She says, and it is all made now. So she says, and it is all made now. So the girl says, and it is all made now. The girl says, and it is all made now. Now remember, you have to use these when you are writing about someone talking in the book. So you have to use these. Remember, start with a capital here, start with a period, and end with a period here. All right, so that's question number 2. Question number 3. Make sure you write the answers as we go along. Number 3, why is the bird looking at the cat like that? Is the cat happy? Why is the bird looking at the cat like that? Why is the bird looking at the cat? The bird looks a little bit scared, doesn't it? The cat looks angry. All right. The bird looks scared. The bird looks scared. Is the cat happy? No, the cat looks angry. The cat looks angry. The cat looks angry. So question number 3. The bird looks scared. The cat looks angry. So the bird is scared and the cat is angry. All right, write down the answers as we go along. I'm just going to erase 1 and 2. So let's do question number 4. Question number 4. How much does she like what she has made? We're talking about the girl in the book. How much does the girl like what she has made? How much does she like it? Well, on page 26, she says, it is the best thing I ever made. So question 4, how much does she like what she has made? How do you know? Because the girl says it is the best thing. The girl says it is the best thing she ever made. There we go. So number 4, the girl says it is the best thing she ever made. She has ever made. All right, write your answer as we go. So question number 5. What do you think she made? Have a look in your book. What do you think she made? It looks to me like a bit of a monster, or a pirate. What about a pirate monster? Okay, so you write down for question number 5. What do you think the girl made? So I think the girl made a monster. I think the girl made a monster. All right, I'm going to erase this one. And let's do question number 6. Question number 6. What are the sock and gloves supposed to be? So what are the sock and the gloves? Have a look in your book. Have a look in your book on page 26. 27. Have a look. So what are the socks? The sock here, the green sock. And what are the gloves? What are they supposed to be? The gloves look like ears, and the sock is tongue. So the answer is the gloves are ears and the sock is a tongue. The tongue. So what are the gloves and the sock? So the gloves are ears and the sock is a tongue. Now make sure you write gloves because there are how many? There's 2 of them. So plural form gloves are ears. Again, there's 2. And the sock, so no S on sock. Because there is only one sock, so no S. And the sock is a tongue. A is only one. A tongue. So the gloves are ears and the sock is a tongue. All right, so let's do questions 7 and 8. Question 7 and 8. Question number 7 is, again, what does she tell Stanley on page 28 and 29? What does she tell Stanley? Let's have a look. She says, but don't you look, Stanley. I don't want to see it. I don't want you to see it. And I mean it. Again, she says, again, she tells Stanley, not to look. And she means it. And she means it. So, again, you can put a comma here. Again, she tells Stanley not to look, and she means it. She means it. Remember what she means it is? To mean it is when you tell somebody something and you are being serious. So if you tell somebody, please stop talking in class. I mean it. Stop talking. So you are being serious. What you are saying is you are being serious about. So please stop talking in class. Right. She says here, again, she tells Stanley not to look, and she means it. She means this. Don't look, Stanley. Don't look. Let's do question number 8. Question number 8 is, do you think she really means it? Why? Do you think she means it? No, she doesn't mean it. She doesn't mean it. But why does she say it? Why does she say, don't you look, Stanley, and I mean it? No, she doesn't mean it. She says it because Stanley won't come out from back of the fence. So question number 8. Does she mean what she says? Don't look, Stanley. Don't look. Does she mean that? She doesn't really mean it. Answer number 8. No, she doesn't mean it. She says it because Stanley won't come out from behind the fence. Let's do question number 9. Question number 9. What happens on the next pages? What happens? What happens on the next pages? Oh, Stanley comes from behind the fence and he crashes. He crashes into this really great thing that the girl made. And then, what does Stanley do at the end? Stanley gives the girl a lick on her face. So what happens on the next pages? Stanley crashes into the thing the girl made. Stanley crashes into the thing the girl made. All right, question number 10. Question number 10. Let's have a look. Question number 10. Who is Stanley? Well, we know who Stanley is. Stanley is a dog. He's a big dog. Stanley is a big dog. Stanley is a big dog. And question number 11, last one. Do Stanley and the girl like each other? How do you know? Do they like each other? If you have a look at the last page, this will tell you whether they like each other. Look at the dog, Stanley, is licking the girl, and look at her face. She is happy. She's happy. So yes, they like each other. They like each other. The dog, we should say Stanley, because we know that is Stanley. So Stanley is licking the girl, and She is smiling. She is smiling. So she's happy. We know that she's happy. Question number 11. Do they like each other? Yes, they like each other. Stanley, the dog, Stanley is licking the girl and she is smiling. So they like each other. Yes, they do. All right, make sure you write your answers. If you need some time, just pause the video and then play again. All right, so that is page 71. Page 71. So let's move on to our last page for today's lesson, page 72. Page 72, this one here. Let's have a look at the top. This is the main idea of the book. We have to write the main idea of the story in one sentence. So what is the main idea of And I Mean It, Stanley? What do you think the main storyline is? What's the main idea? So the girl wants Stanley to come, but he stays behind the fence. So she makes a monster to play with. She makes a monster to play with because she wants to play with Stanley. But Stanley is in back of the fence. He is behind the fence. Stanley won't come and play with her. So she has to do something by herself. So what is the main idea? The girl wants Stanley to come, but he stays behind the fence. So she makes a monster by herself. All right, so that is the main idea of the story. Now, we have to do something called sequencing. Sequencing, it's a big word, but it's very easy. We have to put these sentences in the order that they happen. So what happened first, what happened second, what happened next, and then what happened last. Okay, so I'm going to erase this, so make sure you have written this on the top of page 72. Now we have 5 boxes here, 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 boxes. Let's read the sentences. The little girl tells Stanley not to peek, don't look. Stanley licks the little girl's face. The really great thing is all finished. The little girl is making a really great thing. The little girl tells Stanley she doesn't need him. Now, can you put those in order? What do you think happened first? What was the first thing that happened? First thing was the little girl tells Stanley she doesn't need him. So this is number 1. Number 1 down the bottom here. What was the second thing that happened? What was number 2? What was number 2, do you think? Number 2 was the little girl is making a really great thing. So this one is number 2. So write number 1 here, number 2 here. What was next in the story? If you're not sure, you can pause the video, have a look at the book and go through the book very quickly. So the third thing was the little girl tells Stanley not to peek. So this is next to number 3. 1, 2, 3. What is number 4? Number 4. So we have 2 left. This one is Stanley licks the girl's face. We just saw that. That was right at the end of the story, wasn't it? So we know that is the last thing. So that is number 5. So that means this one must be number 4. Let's just check. The really great thing is all finished. And then the last thing was Stanley licks the girl's face. All right, so we have from the top, number 3, number 5, number 4, number 2, and this one here is number 1, the first thing that happened in the story. All right, so make sure you write the numbers in the box. Now let's do the next one, details, details. Who is the main character? Who is the main character? The main character is the little girl. The little girl. Now, the question was, who is the main character? So character means only one character, so just one. So that's why we're just saying the little girl. If it said, who is the main characters? So S, more than one, we could put the little girl and the dog Stanley. All right, so question number 2. Where does the story take place? Where does the story take place? Is it inside? No, it's outside. So the answer was outside. What is it near? What does the story, where does the story happen? What is it near? What do you call this thing again? It's a fence. So it's outside near a fence. Outside near a fence. All right, number 3. What is the problem? What is the problem in the story? The problem is Stanley won't come to the girl, will he? Stanley won't, so he won't come to the girl. Stanley won't come to the girl. Where does Stanley stay? Stanley stays behind or in back of the fence. Yes, he stays behind the fence. All right, so that is your details, page 72. Make sure you write these in the spaces here. And we have one more thing to do. One more thing. Now we have some boxes here. We have to check or tick like this or X like this. So the first one is we have cat and dog. Cat, dog. And we have some boxes this way. 1, 2, 3 boxes this way. So one more. There we go. Now the first one is stays with the girl. She stays with the girl, is with the girl. The cat stays with the girl. Yes. So we have to check. Tick like this. Next one. The dog stays with the girl. Stanley stays with the girl. No, that was the problem. Stanley wouldn't come to the girl. So X. No. This one here, next one. Hides from the girl. The cat hides from the girl. No, the cat doesn't hide from the girl. The cat is with the girl in the whole story. So this one, check, tick. What about the dog? The dog hides from the girl? Yes. The dog is hiding from the girl. Where is the dog hiding? Where is Stanley hiding? Stanley is hiding in back of the fence, behind the fence. Last one. The girl's pet. Cat, girl's pet? Probably, yes. And Stanley is her pet? Yes, I think so. So there we go. So we have check, 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 cross or X, check, check. All right, so that is the end of page 72. Okay, make sure you have filled in page 70, page 71, and 72. Quickly fill this in now if you haven't. All right, now that is all we have time for today. That is all we have time for today. So, 1A class, I hope you're watching the video for And I Mean It Stanley. And don't forget, we are doing videos for your 1A writing subject as well. So make sure you tune in and watch those videos as well. So until next time, it's bye for now.
Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. SSET Englishtown.